Alright guys, this is Doc M, and yeah, this is exclusive footage of Jurassic World Evolution. Check it out.
Okay, this is as good a place as any to begin. ISLA MATANCEROS. It's relatively stable. Yeah, you can get your feet wet here, and you should, because diving into the deep end of the pool is where the big, angry, hungry things are, and you want to be ready before you try that.
Yeah, you heard it. Malcolm is in there.
And so it begins again. The machinations of the ambitious, undoing extinction, playing with nature's laws. What can possibly go wrong?
Nothing.
Come on, Doctor. You know we've learned so much and invested even more in our Jurassic operations since the last time.
Yes, Mr. Finch, yes, the last time. There's always a last time. And a next.
Okay now. Look, I'm Cabot Finch, Public Relations and Crisis Management, and I'm here to help you. Let's focus on what you're here to do, which is create dinosaur facilities on the islands we call the Five Deaths. Actually, Las Cinco Muertes, because Spanish is the lingo of choice around here.
So yeah, first impression here, stunning graphics, and yeah, we have a little tutorial guide here in the beginning, and we have Malcolm and Cabot kind of, you know, acting against each other. This guy wants to make business, this guy wants to make money, and Malcolm, Dr. Malcolm, is the voice of reason, so kind of plays the role he does. And actually it's the original Jeff Goldblum voiceovers, and actually Jeff Goldblum was there at the event in Los Angeles. We could say hi, which was pretty cool. So in any case, how does the game work? What is the game? It's pretty much, you know, a park building simulation meets dinosaurs. Jurassic Park, right? Build a Jurassic Park. That's the goal, and yeah, I'm just familiarizing myself with the game here a little bit, looking around, checking out the graphic style of the game, and I think it did that pretty well. This is, for example, our fossil center. Here you would analyze fossils you found to extract DNA. These slots you can see there, those are you know, slots for extensions and upgrades of the buildings. You can see these three extension slots here in the back. Also, there is of course a power grid, but the general gist of the game is obviously to make a cool park with cool dinosaurs to get as many people as possible and create a profitable park, right? That's it. So one of the other super main important buildings is the Hammett Creation Lab. It's pretty much the building where you breed your, you know, your dinosaurs and release them to the wild. So here I was trying to figure out why is there a green circle, and this is for later building situations. This is pretty much where you have power in your grid. It just helps. It's a little indicator. You can see the power lines going about, and then you have these transformation or transformer stations pretty much, and those are power hubs. You can see one here on the right. And yeah, here our Hammond Center gets created. There is, in this map scenario they gave us here, there was also enclosure already to the right there. So yeah, hook it up to the paths, and the power grid works as I showed you. You pretty much have the power lines and then connecting these transformer stations that create zones of power in which you can then have buildings, right? And that's pretty much the graphical style, really well representing the movie franchise and all. And what is also really cool, they actually have the rigs of the movies, you know, for the dinosaurs. So that means the dinosaurs in there look amazing. You will see.
Now comes the real test.
And yeah, now let's incubate something.
You'll start with a Struthiomimus. Big word for a not so little egg. Get one by clicking on the lab and then selecting an egg slot. There should be enough genome data for a viable dinosaur. This also lets me evaluate your viability.
All right.
So, you know, no pressure or anything.
Keeps on talking. So here is our genome library. This is the dinosaurs we have so far, and there is a bunch. Some are hidden, but you can see there is a Brontosaurus or a giant, you know, Brontosaurus type of dinosaur available as well. There's T-Rexes and all the good stuff. No flying dinosaurs yet. They might add that in the future though. And yeah, how it works is pretty much, you know, those dinosaurs have different values as well. They have attack, defense, lifespan, resilience against diseases and stuff, viability, and different skin modifications. And we'll look at that a little bit later, but you can genetically modify these dinosaurs further. And you can see of this Strathiomimus, we have 50% of the DNA. And the rest is filled in like it is in the movie franchise, you know, with frog DNA.
Simple, really.
Right?
Create dinosaurs which attract visitors to your facilities, brings in capital, money, huh? Which means you can do more research to build better facilities and create more dinosaurs, and there you go. A circle of life, development and resources, nature and commerce. See? Simple.
Yeah. So he explains us the basic mechanics, and yeah, now we have incubated this dinosaur actually. Now I was looking, can I do this Ceratosaurus already? And as you can see, we only have 20% of its DNA. That means we cannot have it yet. We need at least 50% of its DNA to be able to create one of those guys. So yeah, figured that out now. Alright, so let's release the Strathiomimus guy, and now we're gonna see the animations of the dinosaurs for the first time. So come on, Doc, click the button already, release the dinosaur. Here we go.
Life, it begins, the most precious moment, the result of incalculable actions and reactions, trials and errors, genetic mutations and unknowable combinations, chaos, all leading to a living, breathing, thinking being, an entity, distinct and unique, and now we, you, just manufacture them. So, well done, I guess.
I like that they have this kind of, you know, Jurassic World storyline in there.
Your facility is now open, and it looks like you are attracting paying guests.
Yay!
Which are really my favorite kind of guests.
Obviously, you know, the better the dinosaurs, the more attractions you have, and your attractions are the dinosaurs, the more guests. So here, you know, animations of these things really, really good. Obviously, they have different statistics, you know, health, social. Some of them are more social. They want to have mates around of the same species, and some herbivores obviously also get along well. But you know, mixing carnivores and herbivores eventually will cause problems, especially if you don't feed your carnivores properly.
Security, entertainment, and science. I've already nudged the heads of each division to reach out to you personally. They'll offer opportunities and incentives for you to be part of their team. Choose one of their contracts. It'll help you develop your facility.
So you have these three divisions kind of competing, quote unquote, in the game. Science, entertainment, security. And they all have different tasks. And by doing tasks for them, you can unlock certain researches and upgrades and so on from the certain areas, right? Obviously, if you do a lot of science missions, you probably unlock more upgrades for that. But if you neglect another party completely, that's also not good, because eventually they will get mad and maybe cause problems in your park.
I'm Dr. Dewar. I run the science division of our operation. Okay, you're going to need to build your reputation in the science division. Not easy with me around, but you'll manage. That means managing our dinosaur population and seeing that they are flourishing.
Alright, so their job for us was now to create an expedition center. That's also one of the important buildings here in the game. With the expedition center, you can actually create helicopter crews that fly out to fossil beds in the world and looking for maybe lost DNA they can pick up. So I'm just looking for a spot here where to place that thing, and I think we were also looking to find out what the rotate button was, and eventually we'll figure it out. As far as I can tell, here we go. And then we rotate that thing in a bit and slap it down there.
An expedition center
And
will
that's the
allow you to
expedition
send
center.
dig teams around the world in search of new dino fossils. DNA can be extracted from these fossils, which our scientists can then turn into living, breathing dinosaurs. And that's our true lifeblood. So, one more thing. Your reputation. Your rep, quote unquote. Keep an eye on it, okay? If you have a solid reputation with a division, you're more likely to benefit from them. Financially, I mean. But, like life, it's a balancing act. Each division is vying for your attention, and if they don't get it, they tend to take it personally.
Yeah. So, yeah, this guy obviously explains the mechanics here a little
People
bit
think
more.
money makes
You
the
gotta
world
work
go
with all
round,
divisions.
But they're wrong. Contracts make the world go round, my friend. Obligations and commitments. Complete a contract and your rep with the science division will increase. Meaning you'll be able to take on more complex and challenging missions.
So they talked a lot in the intro, and I was constantly like, shut up, let me talk. And yeah, now there is different
I've got an
missions and
interesting
challenges
opportunity for you to
you know, you
consider.
can do for the
It
certain
will allow us
divisions.
to
And
work
here this is a
together
science
to create
mission.
life. Pure life. If you've been listening to Dr. Malcolm, then you know how important this is to us. And to me.
Alright, so we're trying to get DNA here. Triceratops DNA. That would be our mission. That would give us $1 million and, you know, a little cardio strength gene
I
modification.
knew you were my kind of person. Inquisitive, driven, and I knew you couldn't resist this opportunity. So let's get started.
So I was like, yeah, sure, I'm doing a mission.
Together, we can create a more authentic version of our dinosaurs. That means a complete genome. And I think you are up
Okay, so that's
to
our
the
ultimate
challenge.
goal.
Don't disappoint.
And I was like, oh man, can't you tell this woman to shut up? I just want to play. And yeah, here's some of the info screens. Just check that out. You know, you can see your income and so on. You can see missions you are doing and different goals you have and so on. And yeah, let's finally send this guy off, and let's look at the expedition map. So they told us we need to get some Triceratops genomes, and now you can see the exhibition map, which is a big part of the game as well. Here you find your genes, and that is for the dinosaurs, right? And that is actually really cool. They actually replicated real life fossil beds from all around the world, and also made sure that, you know, the right dinosaur fossils can be found in certain or specific locations. So over there in Portugal, there's a lot of
Good. Your
Ceratosaurus,
first expedition
and I was
team
like,
is
yeah,
out.
screw the
They'll
Triceratops,
bring back
I
what
want to
they
get a
find at the
carnivore.
fossil center for extraction.
So yeah, sending out the expedition team to recover some Ceratosaurus DNA for me, and hopefully we can release this guy soon. So yeah, now they fly off, and eventually they come back. Just looking around at you know, some statistics and what the buildings, the info screens of the individual buildings. And yeah, let's quickly go back into the fossil center, and I think, yeah, I'm gonna start extracting some more DNA. And we have a few fossils here in the beginning, and fossils have different qualities. You know, this is medium quality fossils for most of them. And as you can see here, if I would extract the genome, it would give me 12% add-on to my already 50% we have for this guy. And here for the Ceratosaurus, we only have 20% yet, and we definitely need to have at least 50 to be able to create this guy. So yeah, depending on the quality of the fossils you found, the more DNA info you can add, pretty much. And here we're analyzing it, and then eventually it will be added. So the end goal would obviously be to get a 100% pure real dinosaur, you know, with no gaps in the gene code. And I think that should be possible to find pretty much all the DNA you need for a certain dinosaur. So yeah, after a certain amount of time, that gets analyzed and added to your gene pool. And here I'm just checking out some of the info screens of the buildings, and it has the 3 upgrade slots. as well, as I told you in the beginning of the video, kind of. Alright, so now we got that analyzed, and yeah, what was that? Ah yeah, research, exactly. Yeah, let's look at the research. So the research is pretty extensive. You can research more enclosures here, for example. Obviously, for bigger and stronger dinosaurs, you need stronger and electrified fences, right? The bigger the dinosaur, the more dangerous the dinosaur, the better should your fences be. Quite obvious. And there's other areas you can research here. Fossils. It helps you, get better genetic combinations for later. I show you that as well. You can genetically modify the dinosaurs further. And here's, for example, medical treatment. Right, there is parasites and certain diseases for your dinosaurs, and I decided to research that here. It didn't matter in the end. We had about roughly an hour, of gameplay, so yeah, just wanted to look at as many things as possible. There's the asset containment unit, obviously really important. Those are the guys that, for example, move dinosaurs from one enclosure to the other, or trank them and so on. Rangers, they take care of the food and take care of the dinosaurs if they're sick and stuff. So yeah, those are the main buildings, and they have their individual upgrade slots, and you can unlock these as well. So pretty cool. And yeah, just looking at more of the stuff so you could see what's possible. Obviously, you have this whole infrastructure in the park, to entertain and guide your visitors around. They arrive here with the monorail, and then they would go around in the park according to their needs. They would get hungry, thirsty, and want to be entertained, and so on and so forth. And by strategically placing merchandise and food stores and so on, you can make more money. Obviously, this is what park games are about. Make this optimized park so you can extract as much money as possible from your visitors to make more money to build more cool stuff. That's pretty much how it works. So the expedition came back in the meantime, and we got lucky here and actually found really high quality fossils here. You can see it in the amber. High quality fossils like that, very high quality even, has a 26% genome containment, so that is really good. So technically, if we research that, 28% plus 26, we would already be over 50%. And this low quality stuff here adds 4%. And then you find other things like rhodium or similar minerals and gems and stuff, and you can sell them just for additional money to recover some costs for your expedition there. And yeah, the better the quality of the fossil, obviously the longer it takes to analyze. And there's also a queue, so you can queue up a bunch of research and let the fossils be analyzed that way automatically, and you don't have to come back and pick one, pick each all the time. So now we have a new viable genome, as we are over 50%, right? We have the Ceratosaurus now, our first carnivore, and obviously we need to get that guy. So we go to the Hammond Creation Lab and we start incubating a dinosaur here. And obviously it's gotta be this guy. So we kind of didn't follow the tutorial here too closely. I just wanted to get dinosaurs to fight. That was my main goal. So that is how it always works, incubating, and then we will be able to release them into the wild. And yeah, you should always have this release enclosure, and then you move your dinosaurs around to other enclosures, actually, where they stay in the long run. So yeah, hooray! It's a non-hybrid genome. That means we didn't modify it yet, but for each and every individual dinosaur, you can modify quite a bunch of different genes here, and you can inject different animal genes, for example frogs, lions, and all kinds of stuff, and you will be able to research more of them and create more unique dinosaurs, even with unique looks, right? Skin color and so on can be modified. And, you know, the more dangerous a dinosaur is, the more, you know, prestige you probably get, and the more cool it is. And you have to play around. The Ceratosaurus at the moment has a base prestige of 55. Excuse me. You know, and then you can switch out different genes and experiment with that. So here, for example, if we'd add some lion, then our prestige would go up a tiny bit by 2.5%, but also it would have a negative effect, and the attack would also go up. So, you know, we would, of a lion, we would inject tooth hardness into the dinosaur also. So that's really cool. You can do a lot of experimenting there if you want. So let's release this guy. Super smooth animations, love him a lot. Look how he runs and stuff. Nice. It's a she. All the dinosaurs are she, by the way. And there she runs. Very well done animations. Yeah, as I said, they have the original rigs of the movies, and I like how they animated the dinosaurs a lot. They look massive, they look strong, but they also look pretty realistic in the sense of, you know, if you think about a Komodo dragon or so, how they look. Yeah, I did a pretty good job there, I would say. So yeah, we released this guy. We have a hungry carnivore. Obviously you have to, some need more, you know, foresty biomes, some need more hilly, and funnily enough, this guy, as we had the small dude in here, was like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh yeah, right. And he instantly attacked him, slaughtered the dinosaur here, the small guy. And of course, yeah, that's a problem in the park. You don't want dinosaurs killing each other. That your viewers probably won't be happy about that.
Life begets
visitors.
Death. But here's the question that you got to ask yourself: was this avoidable? The answer: of course not.
No.
Death, it's always coming. But could you have delayed it? Well, that's maybe another story.
Yeah, I love the quotes here of Dr. Malcolm. Really fitting, you know, with the franchise and all. Really nice. So I was wondering, would this guy actually start eating or would he just kill? And actually, yeah, it then eats the dinosaurs they killed, you know, feeds on their prey pretty much, and recovers hunger from that. So, you know, at least we know, you know, the dinosaur didn't die in vain. Oh man. So, yeah. That was our first little dinosaur fight. It gets better later when we have two of the Ceratosaurus facing off, and also get a Triceratops into the mix. And yeah, let's quickly look at more of the stuff that's happening. Obviously, you need the ranger station to take care of your dinosaurs. And here, this is the your animal transporter units, pretty much. Those are the guys that would tranquilize and transport dinosaurs around, you know. Also props for the building animations of the new buildings you construct. Talked about the animator I was recording with here, worked on that, and I gave him props for how well they implemented it. You know, it looks like a sped up recording of a construction site, kind of, and I like that a lot. Very well done. It's a bit of a bigger building, so it takes a bit longer to be completed. But I thought they solved that really well. You can kind of represent the building process. Here we're looking at more of the graphical details. For example, the plants and so on look very, very nice, very detailed. And the guy I was sitting there with, Tom, is an animator, and he also mentioned here, you know, that he really likes how well the transitions came out between land and water. And he said he likes the looks of that, really cool. And yeah, with the dinosaur running through here. So you can be sure there is very cinematic shots you can get when you build your parks and stuff. There's also terraforming. I demonstrate that a little bit later. So obviously for the enclosures you need feeding stations of various kinds. For example, here we put in a goat. It's live feeding, so the goat kind of, you know, gets released into the enclosure on a regular time interval, and eventually it will be hunted down and killed. Some of the dinosaurs wanna hunt, some wanna get their food just literally, you know, killed already and just chow in. And yeah, here the acid control unit helicopter, we assigned a task to them, and that is to tranquilize a dinosaur, and that would be the one we just released. So he's walking about there. So if you want to move dinosaurs, you first have to tranquilize them, and it's a big undertaking. We need to call in the helicopter, and looking at the size of the helicopter and looking at the Ceratosaurus we released there, it's a pretty big dinosaur already. I mean, it's not, you know, T-Rex size, I would say. T-Rex probably also a bit bigger, or some of the other carnivores, but it's a pretty decent one. Yeah, they come in and then they trank. And actually, if you want to, but I didn't show this in the footage here, but you can actually switch into the helicopter and be the sniper yourself and trank the dinosaur. So that's really funny. It's a fun little game you can do. And yeah, we tranked the guy, and now, you know, we could go in and do certain things with the dinosaur, for example, move him. And that is our next job. So actually, first we need a little bit of an enclosure to move into. So we try out the building here a little bit. The fence building is really flexible. You can do straight lines, but also curves like that if you want to, you know. But by clicking again here, you know, you can switch to building straight. So that's really cool. Automatically trees and stuff get removed when you build there, so it's very comfortable. And yeah, obviously you need a gate if you have rangers about, you know, and rangers would want to take care of your dinosaurs. They need a gate to get in there, to feed them and groom them, right? And yeah, now I was trying to figure out how do we transport the dinosaur over. They have a transport team here. Nice. So we picked the guy up and selected a destination, and then what happens, they drop some smoke signals, and then another helicopter comes in, and it's a big transport helicopter. And yeah, they lower this little crane lift thing and then hook up the dinosaur and transport them over. So we encountered a little bug here though, which you can see pretty soon. They're already aware of that. As you can see at the top right, it's development build. Full release is very soon. I think it was in June 12th or so, July 12th. So yeah, really early. But yeah, they were aware of this bug already. But it seems like the transporting didn't work. You will see the dinosaur kind of glitches back then when we transported them over. But yeah, really, really well done here how they do the transporting. And you know, here you put down your marker, drop the bad boy there, and then, you know, fly him over. Pretty cool. You can also sell dinosaurs that way, and you know, make additional money. So here, this is a normal carnivore feeder, and you know, rangers would go in there and resupply them. So some dinosaurs wanna hunt, some don't, you know, and you would need to figure out what their requirements are. So to say, let's place it here, and the actual idea was to make a little enclosure for them, and there you can see there was some glitchiness, and yeah, we have the lift swinging about, and something went wrong, and the dinosaur actually got set back to his old enclosure. So I decide, all right, that didn't work. Maybe we can try again, but if it fails, we sure gotta make sure we release a few more in there, because, you know, I wanted to get to Triceratops, you know, and not have them fight right away, but, you know, that plan was foiled. Now it's all out fighting. So yeah, yeah, the guy stayed over here. Here we figured out, you know, that there must be a little bug. And yeah, but that's normal in early stages. For the others, it worked to transport dinosaurs around. Not quite sure what caused the little bug there, but yeah, not a problem. They are aware and seems to be pretty much fixed already. So here we're trying it again, just to see, and we can also have a look at the weather effects. It's actually pretty cool, you know, how the helicopter comes in the storm. And I was also told, look at the ground vegetation, everything reacting to the helicopter. Really cool. Yeah, really well done. So yeah, I was also told there will be severe weather effects like storms and similar that would have a severe impact on, you know, safety and things on parks. You know, maybe a tornado comes through, breaks some fences, and then all hell breaks loose, because yeah, that's the worst thing. Obviously, we want dinosaurs escaping. I mean, yeah, that's definitely something many people will try, right? What happens if you release a bunch of T-Rexes into a full park and so on? I'm looking forward to play around with that. And yeah, I asked the developer there if, for example, if you have a giant Brontosaurus, if they are transported like that too. And they said, yeah, they would be carried by helicopters as well, and it looks really cool, supposedly, how they're hung up on the rig there and so on. So yeah, great to see that as well. So now I was thinking, yeah, let's already get a new dinosaur going. So Triceratops, we only have 20%. This one was kind of boring and small and got killed right away. So for now, our only option was to get another Ceratosaurus going, pretty much. And I was just checking here, did transportation work? Seems it didn't. So yeah, let's release another one. So one of those is 870,000, so it's a valuable asset, right? Probably, definitely want to make sure this guy survives, because yeah, expensive for your park. And yeah, we're looking about where did the dinosaur go, and it's still here. So yeah, for whatever reason, there was this little issue there, but not a big one. She seems to be happy in her habitat, patrolling. Probably she's not gonna be that happy. Yeah, when we release another one of these into the same enclosure. So here we were just looking about a bit, just taking in some of the atmosphere of the game. Yeah, they did a really good job with sound, ambience, and so on. Now I'm trying out the landscaping here a little bit. Want to show you that. So obviously you have a brush, tree brush, right? Vegetation going, because some dinosaurs, they want more or less vegetation. So easy to do water. You need water, that's where the dinosaurs would obviously drink from. And then you have also terraforming tools, which had a really cool functionality here, which I really liked. As you can see, we have the fence there already of the enclosure, and the fences are actually adaptive. If you add or you know, terraform around them, they would adjust height-wise. And that is something I really liked. I found this was really, really cool, because often, you know, these fences are then this immovable object, and if you terraform later, they would literally stay in place, and yeah, soil and everything around would terraform around it very weirdly. Here is also, you know, a little brush for foliage and stuff, and you can flatten and smooth and all that. You know, the good terraforming tools. The terraforming was very strong in Planet Coaster, and many of these mechanics obviously made it into this game. Here are some of the visitor buildings: emergency shelters, hotel, traders, fast food, monorail is where your visitors will arrive, an arcade, you know, different attractions you can build all around your park. Quite a lot of buildings, a bowling alley, clothes, for, you know, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, obviously also some iconic buildings from the movie franchise. For example, here the Innovation Center, you know, with the pyramid shaped building there, and the glass pyramid, really cool. And then the other centers here, ACU center and so on. Then there's also a bunch of viewing galleries and things like that, you know, to give your people a good view on the dinosaurs. Gyro stations, you know, those are the little glass cubes you can ride around with, and they are in there as well. Yeah, and this is just the power grid, how that works. You know, you have the power plant, and then bring out your power cables pretty much, and ever so often you can have these little power stations, transformer stations, and they create a radius of power around them, and then you can build buildings there, right? And then you know, dinosaur visibility and so on. If you, let's say, do viewing platforms, you can judge if they're good or bad. Finances, and, you know, all the good stuff you need. Where is food for people? Where is drinks, shopping, fun, transport, right? And it gives you a bit of an overview about the different areas. The map is also very useful. As you can see, it's very clear, and you can see the buildings, and you can see your power grid, and you can even see all your individual dinosaurs on the map. And if you get a bigger park and have tons of dinosaurs roaming about and things going on, this will definitely be very helpful. So we are still waiting to get the Ceratosaurus incubated here. And in the meantime, wait, when was it? I think it's almost ready pretty much. And then we can release it into the park, and then we try to instigate some fighting. In the meantime, I was looking at some other stuff. These are the 5 islands, for example, you have. And you progress through them in a kind of a story mode, but you can also do, you know, free park building and so on. Don't have to follow the storyline there. But yeah, these are different islands that have different challenges. You know, one island would be maybe small and it's a building space challenge. The other has bad climate, this and that, different challenges, as you know. So here, fossils, research, and then there is also the INGEN database, which is really cool. Really in-depth stuff, you know, lore to the game, information, scientific information as well. Here is, for example, our database of you know, genes we could inject into our dino genes. There's locations, there's the archive, there's information about paleontology, for example, what rhodium is, and so on. And the database will keep on filling up. So that's for you guys, you know, who are really into lore. They're also considered that. So yeah, releasing another dinosaur here. Still can't get enough of the animations. Looks really good. You have to give that to them. I mean, really, really good. Yeah. Yeah, that's well done. Then they kind of come out, you know, and then look about, and then just like, okay, where am I? And then they just, you know, speed off into one direction for now and be like, what's going on here? I think they did this really well, introducing the new dinosaur into the world there. Okay, so this guy obviously now, or girl, also now has certain desires, and for sure doesn't like it that much that there is another dominant alpha predator close by. Right? So now, me and the developer were like, how can we encourage them to fight? Let's start by reducing the size of their enclosure. So my idea was to trap him here on the right side, and now the other dinosaur here on the left where I'm building, he spots this goat and goes after the stupid goat. Or wherever he's running is now, oh, I missed it. Crap. Okay, there I was trying to figure out, can you build through water? And you can't with the fences. Dinosaurs can actually go through water and also swim. So I wonder though, if you make a really deep water pool or something, maybe you could use that to kind of contain dinosaurs too. But at the top of the screen you can see the goat here swimming through the water right on top there. So I don't think you can actually use water to contain them, fully contain them. Alright, so here still trying to encourage them to fight, so how about taking away their food? You know, that was the first idea. Then we thought, no, wait a minute. How about putting a food station there that has, you know, steady food, so we have the food localized, and eventually, you know, the two of them will cross paths. You also can name your dinosaurs and things if you want to, obviously. You also can sell dinosaurs, and you can do all these genetic modifications, different colors, really cool. So obviously you can't crossbreed them, right? You could only take your DNA you have and modify it in a sense, but you could not breed dinosaurs. It's all females, right? It's not how it works in this franchise. Okay, and now I managed to get two of them kind of closer together. The other guy is up there, so we're waiting for him to come down, or girl. Yeah, using the map to locate them. Here in the bushes, hiding. Ambush predator. They like their habitat a lot here. It's big enough for them, obviously. It has water, it has some hiding places for them. So it's really cool. Okay, and I'm ready here to close them in. And she's shooting straight for her. So let's see how that develops. Alright. What are you doing here? Yo. Oh. Okay. No fighting yet. They're sharing, but you can clearly see, you know, the one that's eating now. He was looking back to her like opponent there, and is like eyeballing him. In the meantime, she's like, "I'm hungry too." You see, like the ears and the tail of the goat flapping. Really funny. I love that little detail there. And there goes the goat. So she's gone. It's like, good goat. I like that goat. You know, still hungry. You know, the desire for hunting was fulfilled. So those guys really like to hunt. So you need to strike a balance, kind of, you know, make sure they are fed well, but also can hunt. And now I think they're actually challenging each other. Now we think, let's take their food again. Maybe they get aggressive and fight because they're hungry. I think they're tracking the goat out there. And then eventually they're squaring off. There we go. Look at that. So cool. Yeah, the animation's really well done. You know, it's like really. This is how I really would imagine that fight. I mean, yeah, that's obviously because they use the rigs of Universal, as I told you before. And it looks really good, right? How they square off, and then, you know, they both took a shot kind of at each other, and they both figured out, yeah, we're probably equally strong. None of us can win this. So then they, you know, start posing. And eventually this guy on the right says, yeah, okay. You can stand here. I'll move over here a little bit. That's very well done. I liked it a lot, how it was not just this stupid fight or so. It really seemed dynamic and pretty realistic, you know. Not that we've ever seen dinosaurs fight, but let's say if you look at two Komodo dragons or similar, you know, they would probably bite each other a little bit, but if they would figure out they would be similarly strong, they'd probably just try to intimidate them, each other with their, you know, physically intimidate each other. So, and that's pretty cool. So now, one of the missions we still had was actually to get Triceratops genome. So I was trying to do that here. We look a bit where it is, and here we found it. So as I said before, actually these fossil beds they have here, we tried to make them kind of realistic in a sense of what kind of dinosaurs you can find there, which is pretty neat in my book. Yeah, we're just looking around a little bit, already imagining how cool looking stuff you could build here, you know, and with the terraforming and all, knowing that Planet Coaster guys, you know, had a lot of detail. Oh yeah, here by the way, a quick remark: those park visitors, they also are not in the final stage yet. So this, as I said, is a development build, and it's not fully finished. But yeah, obviously they would look a little bit different. They have the textures of rangers and scientists right now, and just randomly roaming about with no real aim, you know. So yeah, but they're gonna be ready when they release the game. And yeah, here I'm just quickly looking at the different filters we have in the map, just trying to look at some more details and taking in some weather effects and waiting. Nice. Yeah, looks really good. I mean, look at that. Looks beautiful. The game looks beautiful. There's no doubt about it. But you know, looks are not everything. But in a parks simulator game, you definitely are looking for a decent look. You know? So your park actually looks really epic and stuff. So that's really nice. Okay, so I think at this point they already started banging at our door at the outset and said our recording session was slowly but surely coming to an end. But I still insisted that I want to stay and have one more dinosaur fight with a Triceratops involved. So yeah, waiting for the team to return here so we can look at our new fossils. And here we can hear the helicopter coming in. So let's see what we got from this expedition, which obviously also costs money to send your team off, right? And yeah, we got new fossils here. So let's check them out. And hey, we actually found very high quality again, which will give us 26%. And then we found a completely new genome down there as well, something we haven't seen before yet. We could analyze. Yeah, it's amphibian fossil. It's not a dinosaur DNA, so we could sell it. Alright, so no new dinosaur, sadly. But, you know, eventually we would find some if you look for more fossils. And yeah, now pretty much we're analyzing the genome and are just waiting for the dinosaur to pop out of his shell and, you know, to be released into the wild. Put a cut here.
We are making great strides so far. I believe I may be on the cusp of something wondrous, and I have you to thank, at least in part, for where I find myself. Now we need to incubate, hatch, and house our dinosaur. Then we will know if our efforts will have been worth it.
Alright, so here we're almost done breeding the Triceratops. 96%, and I definitely wanted to see that, how the Triceratops looks and how they react to each other. So here we go, let's release Triceratops. Yeah. Ooh, baby. Looking good. Nice. Okay.
Our
And
new
there
specimens,
she runs
sorry,
and
dinosaurs,
immediately
are meeting
runs into our...
expectations, but we want them to
Yes,
thrive.
yes. Here we
That's
go.
your next
Fight.
assignment. Making sure our specimens are properly cared for. In other words, dinosaur welfare.
Yeah, so we provoked another fight here, and I have to say I had a very positive first impression of the game. It ran really well, minus the minor few bugs there, but the dinosaurs looked already really good, and I am personally looking forward to play the game, definitely. I mean, you know, park building plus dinosaurs, that's pretty... Always wanted to build my own Jurassic Park, kind of, you know, so that fulfills a primal need, I guess. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the footage. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye, guys!